Hello everyone, this is Guard. As part of my free-to-play run, today I'm going to be doing a draft for y'all. So, this is actually the first draft I've ever recorded. Not the first I've played in this format, but that's fine. This is going to be geared towards free-to-play, so, it's going to have strategy and stuff, but I'm going to try and explain things as well. So, if you already know the stuff I'm explaining, I apologize, but some other people don't, so... I'm going to play casual draft because that gives you the most cards for your money, or for your tickets, I suppose. And now it's been a while since I played this format, honestly, maybe a couple months, but I'm pretty sure the picks aren't close here. It's between three cards. Xerox, the Raging's extremely good. Dominates the game by itself with the Rift Lasher type ability, where if it hits them, it kills one of their creatures and it gets larger every time something dies. In that same vein, Rite of the Grimgaunt's also a very good card. It can buff any of your creatures, so if you put it on a creature with like regen or armor, the creature basically becomes unstoppable, as things will die trying to block it and it'll get bigger. And the other card I would consider is Aspirian Scarab, but I'm not too big a fan of Aloyan Utera in this format, in the draft format. So it's just solid, but like it's nothing special. The other three cards, Primordial Invoker is just bad. It's really small and its ability is random. Cultivate is way too conditional. Uh, Requires you to draft a lot of plants. And Leyline Sentry is just like it's definitely a good card. I would draft it if I were already in Aloyan. But as like an opener pick, it's just like a 3/9 body. Sometimes it comes to play free. The best card in this pack is for sure Xerox. So we're gonna try and draft. The best card in the pack is probably Dejin Siphon, but I can't. I can only utilize half of it because it's an allied Utera card, and I need to draft a Nekrium card to lock my factions in. In draft, you can only draft two factions. So the first color you pick or the first faction you pick doesn't really set anything. You'll see cards of that color more oftenly, but when you pick the second one, like if I pick a Nekrium card here, you're only gonna see cards in Nekrium and Tempys, like in my case. So if I picked one of these Utera cards, like Branchweaver Druid's very good. I couldn't use Xerox because it's allied, or it's a excellent ability is allied Nekrium, the one that makes it bigger. So I'm gonna take, I guess, Hungering Strike. This is marginally better than Scavenger Scorpion. Scavenger Scorpion's not a very big creature. It's pretty small at every rank. Its regenerate is mediocre. And I like situational spells over mediocre creatures, just because spells generally have higher impact when they are uh, the time is right for them. Whereas a mediocre creature is pretty much always just going to be a mediocre creature. Two best cards in this pack are Graveborn Glutton and Spirit Leash. I don't like Spirit Leash as much in Nekrium Tempest as I do in Nekrium Utera, because there aren't as many good creatures to put it on. And generally, when I draft Tempest Nekrium, I try to draft aggressive decks to like kill them faster, because the Tempest Nekrium is very good at doing a lot of damage quickly with mobility and things like Graveborn Glutton, which does damage when it dies. It has pretty high power to toughness. So I'm gonna have to take Glutton here. I don't really want the games to go that long. Gloom Reaper, which is mediocre, pretty bad actually. It can only kill creatures that are very small at each rank, and it's not very big itself. Gloom Spireworm is a card I don't mind taking, like if there's nothing else that's in the pack, because sometimes you draw it in rank 1 on the play, and if they have no creatures because they haven't played anything yet, then you just get a free 8/8, and it's actually hard to deal with an 8/8 at rank 1. But Avalanche Guardian's a really solid card. It's got mobility. It's really defensive, which is not what I want to do, but it does kill. It can kill. It trades with at least one thing. Might get two. I actually don't know what the pick is here. Spirit Cleave is okay. It's level gated, so it can only kill creatures that are at the same level that it has. And it has to target the thing with the highest health. So it can also kill your own creatures, which is not the best. Like if you have it's not a big deal in this type of deck usually, because your creature is so low health. But if you had like a a lot of Grove Matriarchs and you were in Terra, it would have to kill your creatures because they just have the highest health naturally. So I'm just going to pick Zithian Hulk. It's more consistent. It's always creature. It's pretty big too. Whew. I'm getting all these good Dejin cards. These Dejin Brood Queen and the Dejin Siphon, but I'm not in Nuterra, so it doesn't really matter. 2 cards stand out, maybe 3. The Spark Soul is okay. It's a decent creature. Aggressive is really good in the late game because you tend to plan around the things that are already on the board, and having something just replace something and gain aggressive is, especially for like 9 or 15 damage late game, it's quite significant. But in that same vein, Hallow Zith is kind of like an aggressive card in the late game. It hits them for 4 times your rank. It's a very good finisher. And you gain health equal to it. So it's good even if you're just slightly behind, it propels you further. Torrent, which is okay. It's not the best. Like it's the torrent cycle right here. Yeah, the witches and I think the other one's Valkyrie and something other. I don't remember. The best one is the Utera one, which puts a Spore Torrent in your deck to poison them. All Spirit Torrent does is give your creature regen, which, I mean, it's free, right? Which is good, but it also puts a Spirit Torrent in your deck. So you're drawing fewer of your good cards, which is not what you want to do, especially if you play it multiple times. You'll just draw a bunch of Spirit Torrents, and it's not ideal. Aranti Elementalist is very good as well. It lets you like control the tempo. I would actually take it here. It lets you move your creatures to dodge blocks or kill things you wouldn't normally be able to. But I'm actually just going to take the Hallow Zith here because it's a rare, so there are going to be fewer in the draft. And I might pick up like an Aranti Elementalist later. So I think I want to talk about, even though I'm free to play, and this is a very good heroic, I actually probably should take it here just because it's so good. But if you draft a lot, you get a lot of chances to take heroics. And a card like Brood Queen, which is very good, and you'll pretty much always take it if you're in those colors. I tend not to take those if I'm not in their color combination, because even if I want the card, like it's a very good card and constructed, I'll draft again, and there's pretty much no way, if I draft like 2 more times and I see this card and I'm in those colors, I'm going to take it every single time. So you're going to like eventually get these just good heroics, just because they're good in draft. So I tend to take cards that are comparable or good in the deck I'm currently drafting, just so I can win better prize packs. And Hallow Zith is one of those cards that actually just wins you the game. So that was a really long pack. All these cards are pretty mediocre. Dark Heart Wanderer is good if you have a lot of pump spells like the Spirit Leash. It's not really what I want to be doing, since all I have is I usually sort by attack and then hit the color button, or the thing button. All I have is a Hungering Strike, and that's not really what I do. Flame Jet's good if I want to remove creatures away from Xerox, but it's the worst of its cycle, the underleveled spells. Dirge Banshee's kind of bad. It's better in Tempys than anything else, but it's so small. It's so hard to use. Abyssal Maw is good. I have 2 Abominations already. It actually might just be better than Deathseeker. Let's see. Deathseeker, Abyssal Maw is small, but it's like a removal spell. It requires Abomination, so it's kind of situational. I'm going to pick Deathseeker just because I like Corpse Crawler a lot. And Corpse Crawler is very good with Deathseeker, because you get the spirit when you kill that card. And there's Corpse Crawler. Excellent. Yeah, these other cards are also not very good. So Necroflay's fine if you have a lot of them. I actually think this pick's kind of difficult. It's either Volcano Giant or Spirit Leash. The Yeti's not very good. I don't really have anything that works with Spirit Leash other than just being like, other than Deathseeker. And Volcano Giant's one of the cards I like in Tempys Nekrium. It's a reliable source of damage every turn, and it's average size. And these cards are both kind of bad. Perdition's Guards starts off really small and is very big in rank 2, but then it's like slightly below average in rank 3. It's not a card I like playing just because it's so underwhelming in rank 1. If you fall too far behind in rank 1, you're not going to have a good time. My favorite card, I believe, is Infernal Visage. It's a pump spell in Nekrium. This is like the only pump spell in Nekrium that isn't also like Dejin Siphon, which is a Nuterra, which have a lot of pump spells. So I tend to value this very highly, and Nekrium Tempys, because you can put your creatures in the side lanes and pump them up. It's better than Zombie Titan because Zombie Titan can only give itself the buff, so you're always going to have like a 6/6 region 1 in rank 1, a 10/10 region 2. But if you take Infernal Visage, it gives creatures that are already in the side lanes the buff. So if you put like Xerox or Glareborn Glutton or Volcano Giant or whatever, you get to make your own Zombie Titan with abilities that are better than Zombie Titans. So it's a little better. The other cards in this pack are not very good. Saber Fang is awful. Vigor Leech is okay, not that great. Necroflay is good in multiples, and Scavenger Scorpions we've already discussed, so it's actually a pretty easy pick. If we dismiss these three creatures because they're bad, we get Corpse Crawler and Frost Shatter Strike. With Xerox, I usually prefer getting Frost Shatter Strike over the Corpse Crawler, especially since I already only have like one card that works with Corpse Crawler, the Death Seeker. So I'm just going to take the strike here. I actually like Cinder Colossus, but I'm not going to pick it in this deck because it doesn't fit. It's a defensive card that scales really well. Like, it gets gigantic at rank 2 and 3. So it's really good with the 7, I can't remember what it's called, Flame Rip Instigator, I believe? It's a 7/2 that makes creatures lose Defender. If I already had one, I'd probably lean towards taking it here, but I don't have a Flame Rip Instigator, so it's either Blizzard Shaman or Ronti Warbringer. Warbringer's good at trading, make sure the creature's bigger. By giving it toughness, it scales pretty well, like for a underdrop, or for like a small creature. Blizzard Shaman's kind of like a Ronti Elementalist. It doesn't scale that well. It's kind of on the small side at ranks 2 and 3, but at rank 1 it's very large, and you can't control the movement. It's kind of random, but it's still pretty good. I think this pick is close, but I'm gonna try Blizzard Shaman. Thunderstomp's very good if I had dinosaurs. They're like pretty much no mono Tempest dinosaurs, and there are 0 dinosaurs in the Nekrium. So it's Wind Primordial or Giant, and I think Wind Primordial is just better. The movement is mobility is such a huge mechanic in this game. It's very, very good. Just lets you control where your creatures are, and your opponent has to play around it. Volcano Giant over the Zithian Hold just because it's a little more aggressive. This is not a very good pack. Calamity Fiend's okay. I think it's actually probably the pick here. It's either a Calamity Fiend or Elementalist. Right? One of the reasons I don't like Calamity Fiend is... Actually, it could be Razortooth Stalker. Actually, might be Razortooth Stalker. So, I'm sorry, I'm going to talk about Calamity Fiend. I'm just kind of thinking out loud. The Calamity Fiend is kind of like the Abyssal Maw from earlier. It's a small creature. It's actually kind of decent for its ability. If you put it in a lane, Assault is, if you put it in a lane that a creature isn't in, then it gets that effect. So it's a removal spell, but you can't block with it, which is kind of, usually for small creatures that have an effect like that, you want to block with them and then use their effect on something else. But Calamity Fiend can't do that. So this one's either Ronti Elementalist, Razortooth Stalker, or Avalanche Guardian. Dr. Frankenbaum's not very good in my deck. I'm pretty sure it's Razortooth Stalker. I want to try to draft things that... mobility is great, and it's a card that can take over the game if it allows them to hit them multiple times. It's very good with Infernal Visage and Frost Shatter Strike as well. And... Rot Wanderer's not good. It's like a Gloom Reaper Witch, but it's tiny. It's a 3/6/9. It doesn't kill things that are relevant usually at that rank. So the pick is Nagaroth Warrior and Warstoker, just kind of like mediocre creatures. Warbringer Ronti is already a very good card. I don't have very much that works with it right now. Like, it's just good. But I think Spikefrost Shaman's a pick just because it's an underdrop. I'm not ever gonna play it in rank 1 most likely. But having 7 power at a rank 1 card is very good because it will trade with a lot of rank 2 cards. I don't remember how good this card is. I'm gonna lean towards bad because it's only got 1 power. Even though it has its ping activate, and you can pump its power with like Infernal Visage or Frost Shatter Strike and Hungering Strike. It's still pretty situational. It's a 1/6, so it's pretty small on both ends. It's only got 6 toughness for a card that wants to be around multiple turns, and only 1 power. So if you don't have a pump spell, it's kind of worthless. It's 100% worthless if you don't have a pump spell, And if you do, you have to use the pump spell on it. I'd rather just play the Crypt Slime, I think. It's a solid creature, a little below average at rank 1, but it makes it 1-1 when it dies. Right? Yeah, it always makes it 1-1. So I'm just going to go ahead and pick that. I think I have enough Volcano Giants. I'm going to pick the Aranti. I mean, Dark Heart Wanderer is not that bad either. I'm trying to think if it's worth picking. I don't have. Only thing I have pump set is Infernal Visage. Is that enough? Probably not. Because Infernal Visage only gets +2/+2 at rank 1. I tend to consider rank 1 and 2 more than rank 3 because that's most of the game is rank 1 and 2. Like, you want to be ahead in ranks 1 and 2. Cold a Week or Violent Outburst. I'm going to take Cold a Week. It's a little better than Violent Outburst. So Misery Demon or Rot Runner are bad because they're really small and not that great. Frankenbaum's also bad. So it's Spirit Leash, Aranti Bolt, and Blizzard Shaman. I don't think I want 2 Blizzard Shamans. I think I take the Spirit Leash because I have an Oozling, a Death Seeker, and a Warbringer Aranti, which are pretty good targets for, which are pretty good like sack targets for it. And I don't really have anything to pump, but I think it's better than Aranti Bolt's really weak at rank 1. It scales really well, but it's really weak at rank 1. So I'm just going to take the Spirit Leash. I guess I'll take Zombie Titan. It's a good card to... Any card with regen, right? It's very good to Spirit Leash, so... I don't want a second Spirit Leash with this few targets. Few sacrifice targets. The Warbreaker Aranti is okay, not that great. And the Storm Spear is not good if you don't have multiple of them. This is one of those things where I'm picking a card for like underdrops. It's Spirit Frost Shaman and Stormcaller. Stormcaller is 8 power at rank 1, which is insane. It scales really poorly. It's not very good scaling. But if I play it at rank 2 as a rank 1 creature, it's very good. Do I want a Hungering Strike? Or do I want another Stormcaller? Stormcallers can also take over rank 1 pretty well, since they're so high power. Might be better to take the Hungering Strike. Actually, I have a lot of spells already. Generally, creatures are better than spells, so I'm just going to take the Stormcaller. You can think of it like an 8 power burn spell. Or, yeah. An 8-point burn spell. I'm going to take the Glutton for the aggressive creatures. Ooh. So I think the best card in this pack is Flamer Instigator. But I'm going to take Crypt Conjurer for a couple reasons. It's either Flamer Instigator or Spirit Frost Shaman. Probably. I would probably take the Instigator here if Crypt Conjurer were in the pack. Because with Instigator I can make my Avalanche Guardian have be able to attack, which walls generally scale much better than the average creature. So having like a 915 mobility 1 at rank 2 or a 1523 mobility 1 at rank 3 is actually insane. But I'm going to take Crypt Conjurer because it's a constructed playable card and it's a heroic. It's not excellent in draft, but I actually have quite a few Nekrium spells to make it work. And it's very large, so it's a good target for Spirit Leash. So I'm just going to take that. These spells aren't very good. So it's either Spirit Frost Shaman or Sparkstone Elemental. I already have 3 pretty good cards to be underdrops. I only have 1 wall. I have 3 picks after this one, so maybe I can... This card gets really big, rank 3. I think I'm going to pick the Sparkstone Elemental just because I think it's a smidgen better if I rank up my Avalanche Guardians. And all these cards going to suck. I don't really want a second Spirit Leash, but it gives me more chances of drawing it, I suppose. Definitely don't want a third one. I'm going to take the Sorrow Harvester. It's... Actually might just be worse than Perdition card. It's an 8/10. I have nothing to rank up my... I have no like Technosmiths or whatever from Aloyan. So I can't skip this card's level 1, which is its bad level. But every now and then you get a block where it's like 3 power. The creature you're blocking has 3 health left, so I'll just take it just in case. Oh, second health, that's very good. So this draft didn't go exactly as I wanted it to. I didn't get, like, I would have preferred to have way more wind elementals. What are they called? Wind primordials. Like wind primordial is probably key to this sort of deck. I didn't get very many of them. The Halazits are probably how I'm going to be winning most of my games, along with the Infernal Visage and the Gluttons. Like I think my plan is like either draw Xerox, which is unlikely, but if I draw Xerox, I play it. Otherwise, I try and win the game with like Infernal Visaging Gluttons or Volcanic Giants or something like that. I don't know. It's not the best deck I drafted. Certainly not the worst. Well, I guess we'll just see how it goes.